Brian, what's one thing about Lee that you love the most?
I like the size of the track. I can honestly say that I've always been treated pretty fairly there. I mean, everybody's going to have their disagreements with the track, with the other racers. The heat of the moment is always going to drive that the worst. But I would say the size of the track. I mean, I definitely like the speed, the too wide that you can do it no problem. The biggest thing is if you make a mistake, yes, there's walls, but it's still really wide and you're not going to end up in the woods. I mean, I've been in the wall, but I walked away with no problem. The biggest thing is making your car as safe as you possibly can so that you can go to work on Monday. I mean, that's the biggest thing with this team is we emphasize on safety. We make sure the seats are mounted right. We make sure the harnesses are mounted right. I've seen some really shady stuff out there and can't believe people are running them, especially with my wife being in the car. Not that I'm any different, but I try to make hers even more durable than mine. Extra bars, door plating, as you can see with this one, we just try to make everything super safe. That's our biggest concern here. If we don't have the speed, we don't have the speed. I'll give up 50 pounds to make sure that we have the extra bar or, the extra support in the floor or whatever. That's my biggest concern with these cars.
So Monday through Friday, you're a diesel kid.
Yes.
Right. And then you come home and you work on more vehicles.
When I come home, I take care of the kids. I am, me and my wife both work opposite shifts. I work nights, 11 to 7, and then as soon as I get home in the morning, she goes to work. So I try to fit in the race cars for a few hours before I go to bed at night, and then we work on them mostly on the weekends. If we wreck one, it's a very long week of no sleep for me.
So would you say that helps you in winning a championship because you have in the back of your mind, if I wreck one, man, I don't know how I'm going to be able to fix it in my work schedule.
I drive that, when I get behind the wheel of one, I drive it till the wheels fall off. I don't worry about wrecking it. If it happens, it happens. We'll fix it. As you can see, we got one in the backyard that's wrecked. Couple. I don't worry about that. If it happens, it happens. I mean, you try not to. But you can't control everything on the racetrack. I mean, you can control yourself. You can't control anybody around you. Most of the guys we race with all have pretty good respect for each other. You're gonna make contact. I mean, they're full body cars. It's, there's bumpers for a reason. There's fenders for a reason. Some people disagree with me about that. I had some people last year that said I drove them too hard. I get behind that wheel. It doesn't matter whether it's my wife, it's Jesse, it's another competitor. I want to go to the front. I'm not going to wreck you, but I'm not going to say that I'm not going to use the car to its fullest. It's racing. It's part of the sport. I mean, as long as you're not putting each other in the wall or spinning each other out or dumping each other just to get by, it's part of the game. I mean, you got to drive hard, especially with these cars. They're momentum cars. So if somebody checks up in front of you, you got to either try to go to the outside or you got to try to dive below them. I mean, if they try to put a block on you, you're going to end up making contact. But you try to, if you make contact with them, you try to let them get straight and get back in line and go beyond the race. And then you try the next lap.
When did you start going to the races with your dad, and when did you figure out, hey, I want to be out there?
We started going to the races when I was really young. We camped right down the street from Oxford Plains, so I spent a lot of my childhood going to Oxford Plains while we were on vacation. And then, Star and Lee on Friday nights. Lee was like our special privilege track to go to on special occasions on Friday night.
Why?
Because it was so hard for my dad to try to get out of work on time to get us there. So that was like the awesome, we're going to Lee Friday night, you know, and now I'm racing there, so that's kind of cool.
Your kids are 2 and 4?
Yes.
Go Cards.
Oh, they're gonna be. They have a Power Wheels and a electric electric four-wheeler right now, and they literally race around the house.
It's inevitable.
And they stop in the middle of the yard and they stand on the seats and they throw their hands up like they just want to race. It's hilarious. So yeah, they're going down that road.
All the way out back. What's that car?
That is my hobby stock.
All the way out back.
Yeah, I had finally got that thing right and went out and won opening night in it, and the second week I end up head first into the wall with it. And it's been sitting out there ever since because I just can't bring myself to cut it up.
So it's history, it's memories, it's...
Yeah. It's gonna be probably the next cage for the next Ironman car that we built. But it's been out there since, what was that, 5 years ago? 4 years ago? Jesse, 4 or 5? 3? 3 years ago I hit the wall with that. So it's been out there ever since. And nothing's come off of it except for the motor and tranny, which went into my new hobby, but that kind of hasn't planned out with the kids because to do one of those, it's so much time. At least these, if you don't break them, they stay on the trailer. The only thing you're doing is adjusting them if you don't break them. The hobby's in the garage, on the scales, moving weight, adjusting stuff. It's just so much more time. And you bend a bumper, you're taking the whole nose off to re-weld a new bumper on. You bend a bumper on these, you just knock the dent out of the bumper cover and call it a day and send it back to the racetrack.
Jesse, this year you're going to have the newest, latest, and greatest technology in the Midnight Motorsports stable.
Newest, heaviest.
Is there a race day or a race date that you're looking forward to the most?
I would say there's 2 of them. I really love opening day. You know, just the fact that you're working on all the cars over the winter time, prepping them, getting them ready, and then you can finally bring them there, get in them, and thrash on them, and push them to the limits.
See what you built.
See what you built.
See what you built all winter.
See if the plan in your head actually is going to execute, and just rolling up to the track, big smile on your face, the smell of race fuel, the burning rubber, all that stuff is probably one of my favorites. And I'd say the second one would be just Oktoberfest.
Why?
The atmosphere of it. You got people from all over the country that sometimes come, mostly all over New England. Just the amount of cars that show up, the parties at night, the hangovers in the morning. But
putting your helmet on still.
But that's my favorite. Just, I love the atmosphere. I love the. While we're at the racetrack, everybody kind of sticks to their own teams and their own corners of the pits. But then at night, when everybody's at their campers, it's kind of a big the calamity of it all.
Wander around to different teams,
Yep.
parties, and everybody comes and visits you when you finally go back and sit down. And,
It's funny how that changes once the lights go off at the track.
Oh, yeah.
It's like all the cliques go away and
Yep.
everyone, you got grandmas and grandpas over here, teenagers over here, and
Yep.
everyone's interacting with each
Yep.
other. It's
Exactly.
great.
And that's like I said, that one team that's your rival team. While
You'd
you're
probably be drinking a
in
beer
the
with 'em.
pits, while you're in the pits, they're your rival team. You don't go over there, you don't talk to them. But then at night, it's, hey, how was your car today? Shoot, talking with them, having good conversations, and drinking a beer with them. And then everybody just gets along. It's what I love about it the most.
You guys have been racing together for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Would you have it any other way?
be honest.
No, racing together on the same track at the same time, or just still racing with different divisions?
You tell me.
I prefer to race different divisions
But you don't.
Right now,
right now.
What's the plan?
she's gonna race, and Jesse's gonna race next year, and I'm gonna play crew chief.
Dang. So this is your last season.
This I'm gonna take next year off,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna play crew chief on these two things and see if we can finish first and second. Well, Jesse and Kristen can finish first and second. They're gonna have to fight that out.
Dang. What is your favorite thing about Lee?
Oh, so many different things.
Like what?
Just the track itself, I really like. We have like a separate track family there. You know, my kids just growing up playing in the pits, or I mean, they get more upset when we have a rain out than we do. Just, I don't know. There's just something about it. Just the people around it, and I don't know.
So, we were talking about your kids have Power Wheels and they're racing. Taking yourself, or maybe being in the stands while they race.
Well, that's
You've
pretty
seen,
interesting.
right? You've seen how other race moms act and
Yeah.
how nervous they get. With your experience behind the wheel, are you going to have those same feelings, or is it an unknown?
I'm sure I'll be nervous, but I just feel like my kids could do so many other things that would be a negative impact on their life. I feel like racing teaches you so much. It teaches you that there's hard times, there's great times. One race could make your whole season, one race could end your whole season. There's going to be people that love you, and there's definitely going to be people that hate you. You're going to meet people from all over the world. Maybe not all over the world, but all over the United States. The years that we've raced, the different tracks we've raced at, we're still friends with some of those people to this day. I feel like no matter how long we've been racing, no matter what division we've been racing, there's always somebody that can teach you more. Nobody knows everything.
Crushed it. What were you so nervous about? It's over. That's it.
I hate being on camera, and I hate being the center of attention.
Well, you're not the center because you're both of them.
So,
That's it. It's over.
if I could get somebody to get out and get my trophy every week, I would.
Really?
Oh yeah, I hate it. When I had to give my speech when I won the championship, I was trying to get him to do it for me, but he wouldn't do it.
No. That was a joke for almost 2 months after the season was over about she have to stand up there in front of everybody and do this.
Thank God for tequila.
And she just kept putting her head down. Thank God for tequila.
Well, I've been rolling this whole time, so I'll use that.
I mean, even when we got married, I tried to get him to walk down the aisle and let me just stand there. He was like, "No, we're gonna do it. You're gonna do it."